Have you ever been so engrossed in a task that you lost track of time? Maybe you were building a Lego set, putting together a jigsaw puzzle, or just couldn't stop playing one more level on your favorite video game. You were so focused that you didn't hear your phone ringing or someone calling your name. Before you knew it, the clock sighed 2 a.m., and you had to be up for work in just a few hours. What a pind. Why does this happen? When we get completely absorbed in something that we're doing, we enter a state known as flow. And while we can enter flow by engaging our senses, like when we listen to music or take a long bath, one of the most common ways we do it is through solving problems or conquering challenges with tasks that stimulate our minds. Many people find that these kinds of mental challenges are most satisfying when they involve some sort of puzzle, because puzzles engage our brains in a special way. They tap into what makes us human, our ability to use logic, creativity, and knowledge to make sense of the world around us. But why does your brain love solving puzzles? In today's video, we'll explore the neuroscience behind the delight we feel when we solve a challenging riddle or complete a difficult jigsaw puzzle. We'll also look at why satisfying mental challenges are such an important part of the human experience, and how you can incorporate more of them into your life. So let's dive in. Puzzles have been around for thousands of years. Evidence suggests that humans have been playing with puzzles since the time of ancient Egypt. One of the earliest known puzzles is the dissection of a wooden ball into pieces that could then be reassembled. Other early puzzles included a kind of tangram made out of bone, and a board game that has been described as the ancient Egyptian version of checkers. But even though puzzles have been around for a long time, it is only relatively recently that we've begun to understand the neurological basis for why they're so fun. One reason puzzles are so engaging is that they activate several areas of the brain at once. When you're working on a puzzle, you might be using your visual cortex to see the big picture, your parietal lobe to process spatial information, your frontal lobe to plan your moves, and your temporal lobe to remember similar puzzles you've solved in the past. This kind of mental multitasking is challenging but rewarding, and it gives us a sense of satisfaction that comes from knowing that we're reusing our brains in a very efficient way. This is one of the reasons that puzzles are so popular across cultures and age groups. They're a fun way to exercise our minds. And there are endless varieties of puzzles that can appeal to different interests and abilities. The human brain is a pattern-seeking machine. It constantly tries to make sense of the world around us by looking for patterns and making connections. Puzzles are designed to tap into this natural inclination, and they challenge us to think outside the box and come up with creative solutions. This process of problem-solving activates a part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for many important functions, including decision-making, attention, and social behavior. When we're faced with a challenging puzzle, the prefrontal cortex activates and sends signals to other parts of the brain that are involved in the task. For example, the prefrontal cortex might send signals to the parietal lobe to help us process spatial information, or to the temporal lobe to help us remember relevant facts or rules. This kind of neural communication allows us to flex our intellectual muscles and come up with innovative solutions to problems. Another reason we love solving puzzles is that they provide a sense of control and mastery in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable. When we sit down to work on a puzzle, we know that we have all the pieces and that the solution is within reach. This sense of control is comforting and satisfying, and it gives us a chance to escape from the stresses of everyday life. We'll be able to focus our attention on the task at hand and let go of our worries about the future or our regrets about the past. This kind of mental vacation can be rejuvenating, and it allows us to return to our lives feeling refreshed and ready to tackle new challenges. But the satisfaction we get from solving puzzles goes beyond just the mental workout. It also has a lot to do with the dopamine reward system in the brain. When we do something pleasurable, our brains release a chemical messenger called dopamine. Dopamine is associated with pleasure, motivation, and reward, and it plays an important role in our ability to learn and adapt to our environment. When we're solving a puzzle, our brain releases dopamine in response to the challenge and the anticipation of a reward. As we get closer to the solution, the dopamine levels rise, and when we finally solve the puzzle, there's a surge of dopamine that reinforces our brain's reward system. This is the same process that happens when we eat delicious food, have sex, or win money. Our brains love puzzles because they provide a healthy and engaging way to activate the reward system and get a surge of dopamine. Neuroscience tells us that there's a perfect balance of challenge and predictability that makes puzzles so enjoyable. On the one hand, we need enough of a challenge to keep us engaged and motivated. If a puzzle is too easy, we'll become bored and lose interest. But on the other hand, we also need some predictability in order to feel a sense of control. If a puzzle is too difficult, we'll become frustrated and again lose interest. The best puzzles are the ones that are just beyond our current level of ability. They challenge us without being impossible. They give us a sense of accomplishment without being easy. In addition to providing a sense of control and mastery, puzzles also give us a chance to exercise our memory and concentration. When we're working on a puzzle, we need to remember where we've seen certain pieces before, and we need to concentrate on the task at hand. This kind of mental workout is important for keeping our brains sharp and preventing cognitive decline as we age. Studies have shown that people who engage in mentally stimulating activities such as playing puzzles are less likely to develop Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. Puzzles are also a great way to relieve stress and improve our mood. When we're working on a puzzle, we're able to focus our attention on the task at hand and let go of our worries about the future or our regrets about the past. This kind of mental vacation can be rejuvenating, and it allows us to return to our lives feeling refreshed and ready to tackle new challenges. In fact, there are many therapeutic programs that use puzzles and other cognitive games to help patients with mental health problems such as anxiety and depression. Finally, puzzles are just plain fun. There's something about the challenge of putting all the pieces together that never gets old. Whether we're working on a jigsaw puzzle, a crossword puzzle, or a Sudoku puzzle, we know that the satisfaction will be worth the effort. And the best part is that anyone can play puzzles. They don't require any special equipment or skills. All you need is a little bit of patience and a willingness to learn. So the next time you're looking for a fun and engaging way to exercise your mind, break out the puzzles. Your brain will thank you for it. As we've seen, there are many reasons why your brain loves solving puzzles. They provide a unique combination of challenge and reward that is hard to resist. They allow us to exercise our mental muscles, and they give us a sense of control and mastery in a chaotic world. Puzzles are also a great way to exercise our memory and concentration, relieve stress, and improve our mood. Next time you see a puzzle, don't hesitate to dive right in. Your brain will love it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on our latest content. Thanks for watching.